Have you ever checked the time and paused, asking yourself why we even say AM and PM? It's such a simple part of everyday life that most of us never question it. Yet these two small abbreviations carry with them thousands of years of history, astronomy, and human ingenuity. They are a direct link to how our ancestors understood the sky and structured their daily lives around the movement of the sun. If you want to uncover the hidden stories behind the most ordinary things around you, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey through time. AM and PM were invented to track the sun's journey across the sky. To understand AM and PM, we have to step far back into the past, to civilizations that lived and died by the sun. Long before clocks and digital devices, humans relied entirely on sunlight to measure time. They observed when the sun rose, when it reached its highest point, and when it set. The point at which the sun stood directly overhead, known as solar noon, became a critical reference for navigation, rituals, farming, and survival. Ancient Egyptians were among the first to formalize the division of daytime. They created sundials that split daylight into 12 hours, measured by the length and position of shadows. These early timekeeping methods were purely observational, and they emphasized the sun's movement above the horizon. The Romans later formalized this concept linguistically. They didn't just track the hours for practicality, they gave names to these periods of the day using Latin. AM stands for ante-meridium and PM for post-meridium, and they describe the sun's position. The term meridium comes from the Latin word for midday, referencing the moment when the sun reaches the peak of its arc in the sky. The concept is straightforward. The 12-hour cycle resets every time the sun crosses the meridian line, a vertical arc that stretches from the North Pole to the South Pole at your location. From midnight until just before noon, the day is ante-meridium, and from noon until just before the next midnight, it's post-meridium. This system shows that AM and PM are not arbitrary labels. They describe the sun's cosmic journey relative to our position on Earth. Even today, when we glance at a clock or check our phone, we're observing a system that maps the day according to the movement of the sun thousands of years ago. A point of confusion for many is why 12 p.m. is noon and 12 a.m. is midnight. By strict definition, noon is neither before nor after midday, and midnight is neither ante nor post-meridium. However, timekeeping needed practical labels for communication and scheduling, so these moments were assigned AM and PM by convention. Historically, there were attempts to fix this, with some clocks labelling noon and midnight explicitly, or railways using 0000 for midnight and 12M for noon. Ultimately, by convention rather than logic, 12 p.m. became noon because the numbers ascending after 12 o'clock start the post-midday cycle, and midnight was marked as 12 a.m., beginning the ante-meridium hours. It's not perfectly logical, but it's standardized worldwide. The 12-hour AM and PM system is not universal. Many countries, particularly in Europe and Asia, use the 24-hour clock, also known as military time. In this system, the day runs continuously from 0000 to 23:59 without resetting. Midnight is 0000, noon is 1200, and times after noon are expressed as 1300, 1400, and so on. This approach reduces ambiguity and is preferred in aviation, medicine, science, and many professional fields. So, why do some countries, like the United States, Canada, and the Philippines, still rely on AM and PM? The answer lies in habit, history, and practicality. Analog clocks, which dominated for centuries, were designed around 12-hour cycles, making the format intuitive and easy to read. It aligns with natural human rhythms tied to daylight and night cycles. Even with digital clocks capable of 24-hour displays, the 12-hour system remains familiar and culturally entrenched. The influence of Latin cannot be overstated. English borrowed heavily from Latin during its formative years in science, religion, and academia. Timekeeping was primarily managed by the church and astronomers, both of whom used Latin extensively. By the time English-speaking nations standardized clocks and schedules, AM and PM were already established as the scholarly way to reference the two halves of the day. Through colonization, trade, and technological influence, English-speaking countries exported this system globally. Even in countries now using the 24-hour clock, AM and PM still appear in historical documents, inscriptions, and literature. Understanding AM and PM is more than a trivial fact. It is a window into human history and civilization. Every time you wake up to an alarm, schedule a meeting, or check the time, you are interacting with a system designed to align human activity with the sun's predictable path. It's a direct line to ancient astronomers, Roman scholars, sundial makers, and early scientists who sought to measure and organize time long before technology made it effortless. The next time you see those two letters on a clock or your phone, remember they are not just symbols, but echoes of millennia of observation, calculation, and tradition. They represent an elegant solution to one of the most basic yet challenging questions humans have faced. How to divide an endlessly flowing day into meaningful, manageable pieces. Even today, AM and PM serve as a bridge between the natural world and human culture. They preserve ancient methods of measuring time while integrating seamlessly into modern life. By recognizing their origin, we gain insight not only into history, but into the practical reasoning behind many aspects of daily living, from when we eat to when we work, sleep, or celebrate. Time, in its most fundamental form, is universal, but the systems we use to measure it are profoundly human. AM and PM are a testament to our ability to observe, record, and organize the world around us in ways that continue to resonate thousands of years later. They are more than convenience. They are a reminder that even the simplest things in life carry complex histories. Thank you for joining us in exploring the story behind AM and PM. If you found this journey through the history of time enlightening, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next dive into the fascinating simplicity hidden in everyday life. Share this video with friends and fellow enthusiasts who appreciate learning the extraordinary stories behind ordinary things.